Hi everyone and welcome to another video. Today I have with me Lenovo's Thinkpad P1 Gen 7, the latest laptop workstation from Lenovo. I've been waiting so long for this device. It's not the exact configuration that I would like to have, but it's more than enough for me for now. So with enough chit chat, let's open it up, shall we? Ooh, nice. Yeah, recyclable, like Lenovo loves to do in these recent days. Let's check the charger really quick and see if we got 170 or 230, and I think we received the 170, if I can guess, and I think I've correct guessed. Yeah, 170, corrected guess, 170. You see, because it's using like a Mickey Mouse connection, which means it's lower than 200. So it can stay over here for now. And this one we can throw away. So let's take this one out. And papers, which is kind of funny. It's already open. And here is the device. Wow, it's heavy. It's much heavier than it used to be, I think, but we'll see really, really soon. Wow, see how beautiful it is. It's not like nylon. It's actually like plastic wrap, whatever. What's recyclable? 100 recyclable. Cute. Oh, so let's open it on top, and here it is. Here is the beautiful device. All right, yeah, that it is. Let me clean up the desk real quick, so we'll go over the ports. All right, let's go over the ports, starting from the right. On the right, we have Kensington lock, USB 3-point kind, whatever, which also is charging while the device is closed. Full SD card reader, which means you can connect any SD card adapter. On the back we have nothing. On the left we have still the same charging port. 2 Thunderbolt Gen 4, finally. HDMI, I think it's 2.1, I would guess. And auxiliary port for your earbuds. Beneath it we have... let me pick up the camera a little bit taller. All right, over here we have 2 huge fans, which actually, if you see deeper, you can see that it has a chamber, black chamber, however it's called, which means it keeps the device's temperature low, much lower than it's supposed to be. Which is a good thing. A reset button, as it's supposed to have. 1, 2, 3, 4 speakers running for the bottom, and on the front we have nothing except from the camera, which this design was taken from the Z13, which actually I have a video review of it. I'll share the link in the description below. So let me charge the device and let's see the screen and everything else, shall we? Look, the Windows is taking a little bit while. I think it's drivers and everything being installed automatically and stuff like that. But wow, the device just is looking beautiful, and I can already hear the speakers sound wonderful. But look, there is the new ThinkPad logo. It's cut deep in. It's not like a sticker or anything. The keyboard is a little bit thicker, so it's much better typing experience. The trackpad is haptic trackpad, which is like a MacBook, like everyone does. The start button is just physical. You can hear it. I'll try to do it with you soon. Look, the device is beautiful. It is. So I'm going to configure it a little bit, like with the application and stuff like that. And I'll be back with you in a second. There are always so many updates to run before doing a review. That's just so much time consuming. Okay, finally, after 45 minutes of downloading updates, BIOS update, everything you might think that this laptop for this review needs, it's finally done. So let's keep up with the review, shall we? So let's talk about the screen. The screen for this model is having resolution of 2560 by 1600 with 165.02 Hertz, which means this is a very smooth screen. Okay, everything moves as it's supposed to be, and you won't be able to see it from this video, but it's guaranteed if you'll ever use this kind of a screen that's more than 60 Hertz, you'll say to yourself, how come I ever used lower hertzes of screen or monitors before that? So this is a good thing. Now, I don't know if you can see it from this camera, from that camera, my camera. This is a brushed aluminum, which is kind of we never had it on the P1s. We usually had like plastics and carbon, whatever, but not like this. I love it. It looks much more prestige and beautiful. You can see it from any angle, so you can show it to your friends, you can be in class. It's not reflective, it's a matte screen, and there, good screen. Now the keyboard, actually there are a few key differences between this keyboard and a previous keyboard. Let's go over those things. First and most all, Lenovo finally switched between Control and FN, which is kind of weird because I got already used to the FN being here, and now they swiped it, and if I'm swiping it in the control panel, it makes me... I hate it. Sorry, I'm a Lenovo fan, so yeah, it's weird. Everything on this keyboard feels good. It's not feels like it's the same old keyboard. It feels much better. The Windows key, okay, they changed it to the smart whatever button for the Copilot. Now, on this laptop, it's a Copilot. On the X-Carbon, it's a fingerprint reader. Over here, it is a fingerprint reader. So, between every device, it's different. This is how it is on this device. What else? We used to have like phone calls, FN, shift, whatever over here. Not anymore. There is a mod. I don't know if you can see it. But the main thing that I'm happy for about this keyboard, and I'm going to lower a little bit the camera, is that you can see that finally, after a long while, they changed the keyboard to be longer. The keys, each key has a longer travel. So it's making the whole typing experience much better. Because I don't know about you, but if you remember the days where we had the new MacBook Pros with a tiny keyboard and everything was messed up, well, Apple knew about it 2 years after that. Lenovo took their time, now they fixed it. Everybody knows that the long travel keyboards are better. Anyways, let me show you how the typing experience is. So let me type something. See, it's wonderful. It's not that quiet, but it's very precise. You also have your light, which again, better than last year. Last year had like dimmer light. It was dimmer, yeah, I was looking for the word. Now they got back to the same old magnificent light, and we still have the nipple. I'm calling it the nipple. And yeah, wonderful keyboard. I love it. Thank you, Lenovo. Thank you. Also, quite new, there is the Trackpad quick menu, which if you log into it, click on it, you can actually see a lot of settings for you to play with. Like, I don't know what can you do with the battery to change it, but yeah, it's cool. Now the trackpad, that's a new generation of trackpads, and I get it, but I don't like the haptic trackpad. It's feeling like, I don't know, I'm just not connected to it. It's very precise. It feels good. It's just a feel. I don't know if you're like me and you're used to be like using a physical a plastic trackpad. It's much more smoother and feels better than a haptic one. but it's very precise, very good. You have a lot of settings to play with. If you go over here, you can actually change the sensitivity of it. You can change the taps. You can change a lot of things which you couldn't change on a normal trackpad. But yeah, it's much bigger, and that's everything I gotta say. It's better, but I still have issues with haptic trackpads. If you love those haptic, you are right at home. And now for a speaker test. Now, those speakers sound beautiful, and I've been waiting for this part because I have a new stand for the laptop, so you're going to enjoy it. Anyways, let's start with a check and see how the speakers are. So I think you've heard it. Those speakers are, I don't know if I can already say it, but they are at Apple level, at a MacBook Pro level. There is a bass. You can actually feel the sound. It's not like they strapped some stupid, those little speakers that are just there to be there. No, finally a device that has respectable speakers. You have to try it yourself if you don't believe me. Finally, we have a fight for the MacBook Pro. So, another 10 points for ThinkPad Lenovo P1 Gen 7. Wonderful! There is a part that I'm usually skipping, and that's the camera. And I think maybe I can now show myself. Anyways, this is the camera for the P1 Gen 7. It doesn't look the best, but it's looking pretty good. And because we are using those ultra CPUs, we have some effects. So let's use two effects: automatic framing and let's use background effects. Now you can see just me. So nice camera. Okay, so let's go over the specs and then have some benchmarks. Alright, let's start with the CPU because that's what on the screen. Intel Core Ultra 7 155H. Wonderful. Base speed of 1.40 gigahertz, just to have like power consumption lower. It has 16 cores, 22 threads, 1.6 megabyte of L1 cache. L2 has 18 megabytes, L3 has 24 megabytes. That's more than enough for a CPU, especially for a workstation. It means that this device is going to be fast. Memory, we have 32 gigs of RAM at speed of 7467. It has 8 out of 8 slots. It's kind of funny that Intel couldn't figure out still those settings for some reason and haven't fixed it. There are just 2 RAM slots for this device. Anyways, this RAM is extremely speedy and reliable and everything. Good thing we finally moved to the new DDR. The SSD. This device has the KXG8 AZNV1T02LA Kioxa. Anyways, just 1 terabyte, and yeah, that's enough for the SSD. Wi-Fi. So we have the Wi-Fi 7 BE200 320 megahertz. This device has really speedy Wi-Fi. I've already seen those tests on the Wi-Fi, and I'm going to test this Wi-Fi myself, so stay tuned. We're going to have this test really soon. This device also has the Intel Arc graphics, also can get another one, the RTX 4060 GPU for the laptop, and we're going to benchmark it really soon as well. Let's have a speed test for the Wi-Fi. I would like to test and see how fast it is. So I'll be back once we have the numbers. So here are the numbers for the Wi-Fi 7 adapter for those for this P1. I mean, this number is not so great. Okay, it is 685.41 for the download speed and 250.63 for the upload speed. Those are good. Those are fine. Let's test it on a cable. All right, in a second. I have also a Unitech Ethernet Type-C. I'm going to connect it and see the internet speed and see what numbers we are getting from Ethernet adapter. So as you can see, I've connected the cable. You can see actually this little computer icon says it is using a cable. I'm going to run the test and I'll be back once it's finished. Okay, here are the numbers for the Type-C Ethernet cable adapter. So the download speed is 932.17 and the upload is 250.89, which means that the Wi-Fi is reliable when you're using an upload. But if you want to download something, you should use a cable. Still using a cable. I don't know why the Wi-Fi 7 still acts like that. Maybe just something to do with the driver, although I have all the latest drivers from Lenovo. Who knows? Anyways, you can use both. And now let's benchmark our SSD and see how fast it is and what it offers. I'm going to run the test and I'll be back once it has finished. And just like any Intel CPU, when it comes to workstation, you can feel and hear the sound of the fans really good. So we have the numbers. So the read speeds and write speeds are actually kind of cool and good. So the read speeds are 6281.8 and the write speeds are 4619.6. Wonderful. I love seeing write speeds above 3000. It means that your write speeds will be good for a long time. Read speeds, anything that's near 7000 is good. So good work, Kayoksa. And now for the CPU benchmarks. I'm going to first run it without the charger, and then we're going to run it with the charger and see if there is a difference. I'm going to let it run, and I'll be back once we have the numbers. And we are back with the numbers. So we currently have a single core score of 1404, and the multi-core score is 9558. I love it. The single core could do better. The multi-core is great. Let me show you the rest of the numbers and we'll go to the next test. Do it again, but this time with the charger. So again, let's do the test. Now I've connected the charger and I'm going to run the test. I'll be back once it's finished. Now we're back and those numbers are much more respectable. So the single core score is 2408. The multi-core score is 13,537. Let me show you the rest of the numbers and go to the next test. So now let's do the OpenCL benchmark for the Intel Arc graphics that's on board. I'm going to run the tests, all of the rest of the tests, with the charger. So we'll see what numbers we're getting. I'll be back once it has finished. Here is the number for the OpenCL score of 35,118. Let me show the rest of the numbers and we'll go do again the test. But now I've changed for the Vulkan. I'm going to run again the test and see what number we are getting. And we're back with the Vulkan score, and right now it's 34,229. I'll show the numbers and go to the RTX 4060. Okay, so it's changed the OpenCL to the 4060 laptop GPU. I'm going to run the test and I'll be back once it has finished. And we're back with the numbers. So now we have the OpenCL score for the RTX 4060 and we received 88,350. Wonderful. Let me show you the rest of our numbers and we'll go to the next test. And now for the last benchmark, the Vulkan for the RTX 4060. I'll run it and I'll be back once it has finished. And we are back with the numbers. So the Vulkan score for the RTX 4060 is 36,641. Let me show you the rest of the numbers and we'll continue the video. So just before concluding this video and letting you know what I'm thinking, I would like to have a small comparison between the P1 Gen 6 and the P1 Gen 7. So let's go over it really quick. Let's start with the right ports. On the right we still have the same Kensington. By the way, on top is the P1 Gen 7. Anyways, so on top we now have Type C on the right, which we used to have USB, normal USB Type B. And that's the only change. On the back, the change is nothing too major, still the same length, width, whatever. On the left, everything the same. The only change, I think, and I'm not sure regarding the change, is that the Type C is Thunderbolt 4, and I'm pretty sure the Gen 6 also had Gen 4. But those are not the main changes. The main changes are that the P1 Gen 7 is a little bit shorter and slimmer than the P1 Gen 6. I mean, see that the P1 Gen 7 on top, there is actually a full finger, almost full finger facing here, and there is less state for the P1 Gen 7. There is also a nice slip for you to open with one finger, or at least try to open with one finger. It can be opened with one finger, you just have to be very precise with it, not just like me. Also, the P1's, the screen is metal, or at least feels like metal, and the body itself is still plastic or carbon, whatever. So there is like color difference between the top and the bottom, while the P1 Gen 6 does not have it. It has the same material, so it doesn't look like it's a little bit weirder. Let's point out other key differences. So they said that the screen bezel is slimmer, so it is. I mean, the P1 Gen 7 has slimmer bezels by like, I don't know, millimeter, I don't know. And the screen moved a little bit lower. You can see that it almost does not have a lip at all, while this one does have. It's not really a big difference, but it is over here. There is face recognition, you have open and close for a lid for the camera. As you can see, we also have it over here, which looks like that. Now the key area is the main place where they had the biggest differences. So let's start with the top. So the start button, you can hear it, right? But if you go to the new one, feels much better. I don't know, it's just a little button, but it's great. Speakers, instead of being on top and getting dust up and, you know, not the best looking thing, they moved it to the bottom, which is great. Keyboard. So there aren't anymore those called hang up and answer function keys. They moved and became mode and print screen and all those quick settings. The keyboard itself also made a change. You can see that let's say, take for example the enter key. You can see that it's like that longer, but if you move to this one, it's actually just a smaller rectangle, and it's not like having a smile, you know. So it's new generation of keyboard. Another thing, the keyboard's length. Every key is a little bit longer, not this short. If you go and see the new one, you can see that it is having those tiny millimeters extra, but it's a whole world of difference. This button, which used to be Windows button, then became print screen. Now it's became the Copilot shortcut button. F, N, and key swapped. So now it's became the default. The trackpad, our lovely trackpad, which was great and I loved it, okay, has changed to be haptic. You have to get used to it. Thinkpad's button, the whatever, the logo, however you want to call it, it was just this tiny, you know, kind of a sticker, whatever. It became just embedded to the body. I love how it looks, but I guess dust will become an issue for this logo really, really fast. Now, if we flip them, the P1 Gen 6 had a lot of more ventilations, while the P1 Gen 7 has just ventilation for both of the fans. We'll have to see how it is within time. Even the button's fit has changed. Instead of being shorter, I would call it, they became much further outside and thicker, and yeah, feels much steadier. And one last thing externally that I would like to say is that the power indicator has its own like external light, like in a car. Over here it's over the body. Here it can probably even break. I mean, check it out. I connect the connector. You see, it's physically weirder. I mean, I like it, yeah. If you connect it over here, you see it's inside. So, yeah, just another thing to note. And I've also opened the device just because I'm curious for the DDR5. Anyways, this device just has 6 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The previous version also had one down there, and were horrible and not reliable. I feel like this one is much better. So let me show you what's inside. So that's the chamber, whatever you want to call it. It's with the liquid metal. TIM has applied, whatever. Here we have the memory sticks, which look like they are much smaller, which is cool. And you cannot just flip them outside. You have to use like a Turk's screwdriver, whatever. Here we have the battery, which is 90 watts. Here we have 2 SSD slots, which is cool. And yeah, 2 biggest fans and a lot of Lenovo's stickers. So it's cool to see them over here. Well, yeah, so that's it for the P1 Gen 7. I gotta say, I love this device. Overall, I love this device. The main things that bothered me and other users within the other, P1s were the keyboards, so they fixed it. The speakers, they fixed it. Having like a ledge for the screen to pick it up is fixed. There is also an OLED option, just 60 Hz, so I'm not getting it. The Ultra CPU, so it's much more power efficient. And that's it. What can I say? Now, regarding price, this is not a cheap device, and that's okay because you're getting the best hardware you can find for a workstation. This device costs around $3,000 or more, depends on where you are living. I guess within time its prices will get lowered like any other thing, but I do recommend it with all of my heart. I love this device, I recommend it, and thank you for watching and staying this long. I appreciate you and your time. And if you have any questions regarding this device, do let me know. I would love to answer your questions. And who knows, maybe I'll do a battery test, even though this is a workstation, so nobody really cares about its battery life. Anyways, See you in another video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying, and I love you. Bye bye.